Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news. A deputy U.S. Marshal was shot and killed in the line of duty.
Yes, it happened earlier today at a neighborhood near Glend and Oracle. And right now it appears that Chief Chris Magnus from TPD just arrived on scene. Let's listen in.
This is a tragic night for law enforcement in Tucson and obviously across the state of Arizona. Tonight, a U.S. Marshal was shot and killed while serving a felony warrant, a Tucson Police Department active felony warrant for stalking a law enforcement officer. This incident occurred tonight at approximately 5:30 p.m. It occurred in the 2600 block of North 15th Avenue. The suspect's address 2614 North 15th Avenue. Short time after the shooting, the Tucson Police Department responded to the scene, surrounded the house, proceeded to start the process of attempting to engage with the suspect. The suspect did surrender to law enforcement. He was taken into custody without incident. He is 26 years old. His name is Ryan Schlesinger, and as I said, he is a 26-year-old male.
Can you spell the name for us, Chief?
Schlesinger. At this time, obviously, we're just at the very early stages of this investigation. The investigation involves a range of federal law enforcement agencies who are all working with the Tucson Police Department. The U.S. Marshal, David Gonzalez, U.S. Marshal for the state of Arizona, is here in Tucson. He is at the hospital with his personnel. And so I am presenting this information with a very heavy heart. This is, of course, as I said, a great tragedy, and our hearts go out to this Marshal's family, and there'll be more information to come.
Chief, do you have an idea of how many people were accompanying the Marshal as he tried to serve that warrant?
I know that there were other Marshals who were working with him at that time, but I do not know the number.
And you said that his name is David Gonzalez?
Well, the name of the U.S. Marshal for the state of Arizona, in other words, he's the chief. He is here. His name is David Gonzalez. He is here in Tucson attending to his personnel at the hospital, but we're not releasing the name of the slain Marshal at this time.
And how are the other U.S. Marshals? How are they coping with this right now, Chief?
As you can imagine, they're devastated. And of course that would be expected. This is very tough, and I'm sure they're having a very tough time, as any group of law enforcement officers would.
Are you able to elaborate at all on the original charge, the stalking the police officer charge? What does that mean in that case?
Can't really get into the details. That'll be something that will be available to you in the near future, but it is, as it implies, a warrant for actually stalking a law enforcement officer. It can cover a wide range of circumstances. In this case, it was a felony, and it was just recently issued.
You said that the Marshal was shot by the suspect. Did any law enforcement agencies return fire?
I believe that there was return fire, but again, we're in the early stages of the investigation, so as far as the specifics of that, I can't say. However, I can tell you that the suspect was not injured.
I believe this is the second time in 6 or 7 months we've had an officer down on the line of duty here in southern Arizona, the Dallas officer, at the end of April. Just kind of put into perspective how the law enforcement community here in southern Arizona is feeling right now.
You know, it's hard to really put that into words. It's really devastating when you see the impact that this has on an officer's family, of course, but then on their broader law enforcement family, it's even tougher. Our heart goes out to this family, but it also goes out to all of the Marshals who are obviously close to this particular slain Marshal. It's very tough, and it's hard to make any sense of it. But that's what the investigation is for, and we'll know more in the upcoming days and weeks.
Generally speaking, is serving a warrant
from a park, right across the street from a park where children are playing. This could have really been even worse than it was.
I agree. There's always the possibility. I think law enforcement in general does the best they can with the information that's available to handle warrant service like this as safely as possible. But there are always so many unknowns, and that's one of the great challenges that police officers, no matter what department they work for, whether they're at state, county, or federal law enforcement level, they're all facing a lot of unknowns when they do their job.
Fair to say serving a warrant can be particularly dangerous work?
I think it's very dangerous because you never really know how somebody is going to react to that. Obviously, a warrant still means that somebody has their day in court, but there are times when the individual being served doesn't see it that way, and we really don't know what's going through their head when they make a decision to do something like this.
Any informal charges at this point for the suspect? I know they haven't been filed yet necessarily.
Yeah, no, I can't speak to that at all at this point. So.
Will the FBI be taking over this investigation, or will this be handled by the Tucson Police Department?
Right now it's being worked on cooperatively with several different federal agencies, including the FBI, ATF, and others involved. We'll sort out over the days to come exactly who has precisely what role, but one of the great things about law enforcement in this area and frankly across the state is that we work really cooperatively with each other. So far we're here to support each other, we're here to do as thorough an investigation as possible, and we're here to make sure justice is done as it relates to the suspect in this case. So I think that's about all I can share with you tonight. Again, a very tough night for us, but thank you very much.
Chief, thank you.
Magnus,
You bet.
thank you so much.
As you just heard, that was Chief Magnus from the Tucson Police Department telling us exactly what happened. A deputy U.S. Marshal was shot and killed in the line of duty while he was serving a felony warrant on an individual who had a warrant out for him for stalking a police officer. I can also tell you that it happened right across the street from a park, and I was able to talk to one of the witnesses who was actually in the park, and I think we've got his interview right now.
I was getting home from basketball practice, and we went to the park, me and my friends. And so we were playing basketball for like around 5 minutes, and like we heard a gunshot. So then out of nowhere, like 5 minutes later, cops came and told us to evacuate because there's like a shooter out, someone inside the house shooting.
That is that they were serving a warrant on a suspect.
So again, a deputy U.S. Marshal has been shot and killed in the line of duty, and it happened right across the street over there, right next to a park. And certainly our thoughts and prayers are with the deputy U.S. Marshal's family and the entire law enforcement community. Reporting live, Lupita Murillo, News for Tucson.